Hey, I don't really make these anymore, but this video is not here to entertain you. It's a PSA, a public service announcement for the people who use sites like cdkeys.com, g2a.com, and cdkeyhouse.com. There's a lot more, but basically these websites offer keys for Steam and GOG mainly, usually at a much cheaper price than what the developer has set. But wait, I can feel you through the screen wanting to snag yourself one of these deals, but let's make a promise. I'm gonna tell you a few facts about these sites. If you stay until the end of the video and still aren't convinced that maybe you shouldn't use these sites, then feel free to use them. If you don't care about any of the arguments I give you, then nothing will stop you from using these sites anyway. But if you care about video games, if you care about gambling with your money, if you care about breaking the law, if you care about not losing all of your games on your Steam account, then this video is for you. So, have you ever wondered how these sites obtain these game keys? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but there are usually two ways that they do it. They may have connections to a reviewer who has received extra copies of the game, and the reviewer might sell this key to the site, or the site might share the profits with the reviewer. Otherwise, they might pretend to be a reviewer and request a key or even multiple keys from both big developers and small. Now, if you're not aware, selling someone else's property is illegal, so there's that. But other than that, it's just as bad as piracy. You might even consider it more insidious, because the people who produce the pirated version are charging you for it. It's so ridiculously illegal. This is stealing from the developer, and the more people that do this, the less the developers get for their hard work. If that isn't enough to convince you, a few months back I bought a Witcher 3 GOG key for PC on cdkeys.com, about £20, roughly a third of the actual price of The Witcher. This was before I knew any of this, so I'm guilty too. If you've already used these sites, please don't feel like it's too late to stop using them now. I mean, that's what I did. But the reason I began researching this in the first place was because the key didn't work. I had thrown £20 at this shady company for no apparent reason. It was basically a donation. So that's reason number 2. You are gambling with your money if you buy a game from one of these sites. Now, it's not a complete scam, I won't lie to you. Before that incident, I bought Dark Souls 2 for Steam on that site, and it worked perfectly, but the gambling element is still there. Now, if for some reason you still aren't convinced despite those 2 points, for me, this is the real kicker. I can't speak for GOG on the matter, but Steam has specifically said that using one of these keys can and will get your account suspended. That's, you lose all of your Steam games, no second chances. I was lucky, but for all these reasons, this one being the biggest, I will not be touching these keys with a 10-foot pole. I'll leave the link to the article where Steam says that in the description. They also have a list there of all the legitimate sites you can buy games from. It's real useful. I didn't want this video to be too long, so I haven't cited any sources for most of it, but all of this info is readily available. I'll also leave a link in the description for an article by a game developer who suffered from the fake reviewers and Let's Players when they were making their first game. They would get requests from people and then find out later that they had sold them on to maybe one of these sites or someone else. It's a great read. I'd highly recommend it. Alright, see ya.